In the third dimension, we have space. In the fourth, we have time. But we must not forget the fifth dimension, the dimension of magic, or the weave. And when woven into the fabric of time and space, we get fate. Guided by the hand of the goddess Mystra and governed by Istis, the god of fate herself, fate governs this world. And in our particular time, at a particular place, fate intervenes. A blinding light, followed by a blistering heat, then the sound of an immense explosion. Though being in space, those present only recognize the sound through the vibrations of their ships as they are ripped apart. The planet of the Reigars has imploded. Those lucky enough barely have time to watch the planet crush under its own weight before they are thrown into the gravity of a nearby black and purple moon called Bukur. Their Spelljammer helms unresponsive, dispelled, somehow. Careening through ashy clouds, the land beneath reveals itself, a ground covered in thick layers of ash and veins of lava, the rows of mountains spiny and almost organic. The first ship to reach the atmosphere held a small party of scrappers. Axis, a gunman with a harsh childhood, who had chanced upon swarm tech in a heist gone wrong in their pursuit of independence. Brexx, a product of experimentation that caused a reset of memory, though nothing is lost in his humor or love of creatures, as long as you don't make him angry. Lastly, Sidore, a fallen angel from a dead god from a war called the Fall of Heaven, leaving only 10 gods in the pantheon and him to search for new purpose. Luckily, they all crash land into a pile of ash and soot, soft enough to survive the impact, but hard enough to render their helm unusable. The next ship to fall was driven by the lone Wash, a forced retired member of the
Redacted.
Returning from
Redacted.
in the wake of a destroyed
Redacted.
he must avenge the deaths of his
Redacted.
and
Redacted.
as his ship fell, he grabbed his parachute and jumped out the back, landing safely on the stone ground, watching what became a rain of fire as more ships careened to their deaths. And then a single yellow-white comet of light streaked through the atmosphere, landing like a meteorite and leaving a large crater. 2 creatures lay inside amongst the broken rock and metal plates with strange markings, as they awoke with little to no memory. Desmoid, a Reigar native to the exploded planet, and who channels the prism of the rainbow. Her past may be more important than she realizes. And Xela, a siren also native to the planet, whose voice can tame even the wildest of minds of whom she hopes don't catch up to her. The group of 6 are forced to work together to get off this moon and learn the cause of the destruction of the planet. They hatch a plan to find a ship they saw fall past the mountains that may be the ship of Desmoid and Xela. After a bit of rest from their injuries, a phoenix appears and accepts the party's attempts to communicate. Desmoid touches the bird and channels her divine magic and is rewarded with a vision of the past. Swords and shields clang together as army fights with army, one donning a mark of a sword on fire, the other without any symbols at all. But above them, 2 impossibly large gods fought, one an armored god with a flaming sword, and the other a woman with fiery red hair as she drives a trident through the armored god's heart. Alarmed by the vision, they all hurriedly travel to their destination, but with the rising tide of a moon with altered orbit, strange ashen soldiers attack, each with a hollow imprint of a sword in their chest. And that's where we pick up in the story, as we are left to wonder the origins of the planet's destruction, visions of a god war 1,000 years ago, and a desperate attempt to leave a doomed moon before it's too late. For these cosmic wrinkles will expand through time and space and magic. If you want to follow the story of A Wrinkle in Space, make sure to check out the live play exclusively for my Patreon members at just the base tier. There you can also access exclusive chats, homebrew, and other content to lay the foundations of amazing storytelling. Linked below in the description and on the screen now. I hope to see you there with us amongst the stars.